Welcome up on stage, Dr. Sakena Yacoobi.
Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First of all, it's a great honor to be here. I really love to come to Sweden, but especially in an occasion like this, to meet all of you, it's a great honor for me. Thank you for inviting me. And I would like to thank the people who are hosting this conference. It's a fantastic conference, a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation, a lot of new idea, a lot of new methodology, a lot of young people, old people. It's wonderful to be together and learn from each other. I am again delighted to really talk about Afghanistan, about the women of Afghanistan who have been courageous. Yes, I know most of you want to know a little bit about me, where I started, how I started, and where I am going. First of all, I would like to tell you a little bit about me. I was born in Herat, Afghanistan. I completed my education in high school in Afghanistan, and I was going to go to university, but always I loved to learn, and always I wanted to learn. But also, I was one of those lucky ones. Had a father who loved education, had a father who had vision, had a father who really wants to encourage me to keep learning. And when you think about it, at that time, to have a man of Afghanistan like that, to think that way, it's something to think about it. So I really wanted to continue my education, but a lot of things happened. Russians were going to invade Afghanistan, so my father had feeling. He wanted me to go back to the United States. He sent me to the United States. As soon as I got there, start my education, Russia invaded Afghanistan. You know, as a young woman, I always had a desire to work in my country. I really wanted to bring a lot of new things in my country. I wanted to change the women of Afghanistan. Because as a child, there was every single day that I hear cried of a woman because losing her young baby. And as a child, every day I was hearing the cry of children losing their mother because of delivering a baby. That always was in back of my mind. I really wanted to be a doctor. I really wanted to help the women of Afghanistan. So when I went to the United States, I studied. I wanted to be a doctor. But then I found out my way more than social worker than being a doctor. So I studied science, but at the same time I studied public health. But I could not stay in the United States. Day to day, my mind was in Afghanistan. There was about a few years that I didn't know about my parents because I lost contact with them. But you know, one thing every day told me that I must study. I must complete my education because that was important to me and that was important to my parents. There was time that I didn't know if my parents are alive or dead. You know, as a young woman, I was very upset. And I find out that my parents are in the refugee camp. They were refugees. The Russians took over everything we had, and my family were forced to get out of Afghanistan to be in the refugee camp. But anyway, I tried my parents to come to the United States. I tried to help them. I brought them all into the United States, and as soon as they arrived, I told my father, I'm going back to Afghanistan. And he said, how could you go to Afghanistan? They will kill you. Right away, they will kill you because you have been in America and they are not going to allow you to do anything. My mother was in tears. But you know what happened? My father told my mother, let her to go. Let her to go. She does what she wants to do. And you know, I decided I go to the refugee camp in Peshawar, Pakistan. Why I'm telling you a little background about my life? Because, you know, as a young girl, always this was the most important things to my mind, to educate the women of Afghanistan. And when I went to the refugee camp, let me tell you, I saw the scene that you never want to see in your life. 7.5 million refugees. 7.5 million refugees were in the refugee camp. Young women, young girls, widows, people who lost everything they had. Their child, their daughter, their wife was torn apart in front of them. Russian integrated into their houses, and they really did all kinds of things. For weeks and weeks in the refugee camp, I heard a story. I wept with women and children. And I saw these young, beautiful women sitting around the corner in the tent and have nothing to do. 14, 15, 18, 20, no education, nothing to do. What you do as a young woman, that you see all these women are sitting there doing nothing. How you make a decision? And you know, one thing came in my mind, that education could change this life. Nothing else could change this life. Because no matter what you provide for them, if they are not educated, they are nobody. Because education gave me stability. Education gave my dignity back. Education gave me resilience. Education really gave me a status in life. Education gave me financial stability because I could bring my family and support my family in the United States. And that was it. I really knew that one thing I want to do in the refugee camp, to really establish an institution that really transformed mine. And how I'm going to do that? That wasn't an easy task. That was a challenge issue in front of me. Because those people were traumatized. Those people were not trusting anyone. Those people, everything they had was taken away from them. How I am going to come from America and tell them, here, I want to teach you something and learn. They were not going to learn from me. They were not going to accept me. And what I was thinking, that the best way to really ask them what they want, how I can go about this. And you know, surprisingly enough, today, you know, the world is in turmoil, refugees everywhere. People are pouring from one country to the next. And that was that situation. And when I asked to them, I sat around the table and discussed with them, what do you think we should do? What do you want? Everybody said education. Everyone said education. And I said, how do you want we have education? And they were quiet. Then I figured out that they don't have the solution. What could be a solution? Amongst them, there were teachers, there were doctors, there were lawyers, there were engineers. So we said, let's go work. And we choose from amongst their people. And one thing that we believe, that we must provide a system of education that is quality education, is provide critical thinking. Because the way that I learned when I was in school, it was rote memorization. In rote memorization, you don't learn things. You learn and you feed back to the teacher, and that's it, finish. So what we did, we trained the teacher in the classroom and sent that teacher in the classroom. And you know, in a matter of 4 months and a half, children were learning like beautifully. Everybody wants to come to school. In a matter of 1 year, from 300 students, we went to 15,000 students. 15,000 students in the refugee camp, 27 schools. That was something unheard of it. It was unbelievable. Children were happy, they were going to school, parents were happy, everybody were enjoying. What I want to tell you, that when you listen to the people, and when you ask them, they feel part of the program. Yes, there was a lot of issue that they did not want me to really open a school at that time in the refugee camp, because Mujahideen were there too. They were against education. But the people helped me. The people decided with me that they are going to support us. And with the support of the community, we start building relationship. Building relationship is the most important issue in any kind of society, in any kind of business, whatever you do. Once you have the heart of the people, then you can be successful. And also, if you promise people something, deliver it. Make sure that what you promise, deliver that things. Because if you promise and you don't deliver, then this is not going to be trusted. And when you deliver, make sure that the beginning don't promise something that you could not accomplish. And when you deliver something, you just make sure that what you said, you deliver that things. We didn't tell them that we are going to build a school, we are going to have a building, we are going to have a book. We went in the tent. We went inside under the tree. We have a blackboard, but we had a trained teacher in the classroom. And that was the way we started. And you know, of course, education changed mind. These people were bright, intelligent, day after day. Hundreds of them, they want to come to school. And the news spread. I want to tell you a challenge. What's the obstacle you face? How you solve the obstacle? What is it, the way that you can do it as a leader? One day I was in my office, sitting with my teacher and having teacher training program. All of a sudden, my entire staff were running toward me in the office, and they said, we are going to hide, and you should hide. I said, what is it? You know, yeah, of course you are scared. You are scared for your life. You are scared for the life of others who are around you. But you know what? I told them, no, I'm not going to run. Everybody disappeared. My bodyguard was there. So all of a sudden, these, I don't know how many men, 8, 10, how many of them, ran to the office, and they come. They were Taliban. They were unbelievable, ugly-looking, frowny men that you ever can see in your life. They ran to the office, and they said, don't you know that education is banned for women? What are you doing here? And I smiled to them. And I looked at them, I said, let's come to our office, sit. And the guy yelled at me, and he said, we are not going to sit, we don't want to sit. I said, come, have some tea with me. And they said, no, they are not going to drink tea. They want to know my answer. I said, well, my answer is that, don't you want your children and your wife get sick, be treated? We are teaching health education. We are teaching them hygiene. And he looked at me, what is she talking about? And then the next one asked me, no, we find out you are teaching them how to read and write. I said, yes, I do teach them Quran. Don't you want them to know Quran? Isn't the Holy Book is important enough that they can read? And all of a sudden, these forceful people, like they stand up and they start speaking Pashto with each other. And they told each other, she is okay, let her go. And at the same time, I asked them to come back and have a tea with me. We can talk. And you know what? They come and they took a sip of tea. They didn't sit, but they took a sip of tea and they leave me alone. And that's the way AOL has been working. And that's the way that we are trying to really bring peace to Afghanistan, trying to educate the people to understand how to negotiate, how to talk, how to communicate. Today, the world is a bad place. All of you know, and I know, that with gun and with tank, we are not going to accomplish anything. We really need to teach a methodology that is really connect people with each other. Connection is the most important key issue. Education, quality education, not any kind of education. Education that promotes critical thinking. Education that creates activity that is innovative. Education that really a child can stay in the classroom instead of running away from classroom. Those children, you know, those children has been traumatized. Those children has suffered so much. Those children didn't have a life of as a child. They didn't know how to play. They didn't know how to go to the street. They were suffocating inside this tent So in order to keep them, we really need to be very creative and really try to teach them. I want to share with you another story. I think that maybe you will get tired of my story, but my life is a story anyway, so you know about it. Well, one day again, in the same place in Peshawar, Pakistan, we were working. All of a sudden, the door rang, and somebody come to the door with 3 children, young children, a woman. She cried, and she was very upset, very exhausted, with 3 children, 1 girl, 2 boys. And she said, please help me, because I don't have anything to eat. I don't have a place to sleep. And we were not humanitarian organization. And I told her that we cannot help you. We are not humanitarian. She cried. And you know, when you see and you look at the children, I love children. My entire life, 25 years, I spent side by side with children. When I saw those kids crying, it really broke my heart. And I said to the woman, in one condition, I will help you. And she said, what? I said, if you let these kids to go to school with me. And she looked at me and she said, no, I will not do that, because they are my breadwinner. They go in the street and they beg for food, for money. And if I bring them here, I don't have anything else. I said, well, create you a job, but you bring them here to school. If you want this, we will do it. If you don't want, then we cannot do that. So finally, she came to the conclusion that, yes, we gave her a job to clean in the office. And we put all 3 children in a school. And you know, I made you sad. I want to share with you a story. Her daughter, a refugee girl, a girl who never had a home, a girl who never had a piece of bread to eat to be full, a girl who never had clothing. She was so smart. She brilliant. In matter of few years, she finished 6th grade and went to high school. In matter of few more years, she finished high school. She became the top of her class. She studied nursing. And when she studied nursing, she worked in one of our clinics. We gave her a job. Today, she is with us. She took her mother out of cleaning job. She bought a home in Kabul. She is supporting 2 of her brothers to go to school, to university, and she is still the midwife nurse with us in our clinic. And she is doing fantastic job with the women and children. And that is the way you want to really transform society. That is the way you really want to work with people, to really bring their innovation. That young girl, I tell you, she is so smart and intelligent that today she is doing a job of gynecology. She really see patients, she deliver baby, and she do all kinds of other things. Village to village, she is in one village of Kabul, in one of our clinics she is working. Yes, life is difficult. When I was in Afghanistan, when the Taliban, in the 1995, when the Taliban came to Afghanistan, they took over, they stopped all the girls' school. Then this news from inside Pakistan went to Afghanistan. And everybody wants me to open a school inside Afghanistan. And we said we could not do it because we will be killed. And they said no, they want the school. So again, we went there day after day, had meeting with the community, meeting with the elder of the community, sit side by side with them, and said, okay, we will do in one condition. If you really support us, if you really help us. And you know, those community, they said yes, they will do it. And we set condition. First of all, we wanted community participation because for us, it was impossible to do all the tasks. We wanted their help. So they said yes. So they gave us the place. That was a big help. Through community participation, they gave us the home. So what kind of home? That everybody was feeling comfortable to go in that house. And then they gave us the teacher. They chose the teacher. We didn't choose the teacher. Once the teacher was from them, the house was from them, and then we give them training. Also, we give them material supplies, and we provide salary for the teacher. And you know, in 4 provinces of Afghanistan, 80 school underground, 3,000 students sitting side by side and learning multi-grade system, grade 1st through grade 8. And again, this wasn't easy. We knew that any day that the Taliban come into the house, they will kill us, the kids, they will kill us, the teacher, they will kill us. But you know what? Again, through relationship, through trusting people, we were together, and they feel this program is belong to them. It's not ours, it's theirs. As a result, they protect it. Yes, we faced challenge. Yes, one day the Taliban came. But you know what? The teacher dispersed the students in matter of few seconds, that they did not see one student in that classroom, because the teacher were trained how to really disperse the students and take the books away. And when they come ask, she said, I don't have no books. I don't have any students. They said, yes, we got the news. And she said, some doctor came and they wanted to do vaccination and all these kids were there, but we didn't have anything else. Yes, there is some way we have to really try to find our way to get to our objective. Our objective was education, to really reach to these people and to educate them. Today in Afghanistan, the people who are working in infrastructure of Afghanistan, the people who are working with international community, the people who are working with the government, most of those are the students that during the Taliban, they were in those classes. And that is the best news. That is for me, sometimes people ask me, aren't you tired? It's 25 years. Aren't you tired of hiding and going places that every moment you can be killed? No, I'm not. You know why? Because when I see those happy smile on those kids' face, when I see that how much they are nourishing from this educational system, how much happy they are, it gives me energy. And also, I am a spiritual person. I want to share this with you. I'm not a fanatic religious person, but I'm a spiritual. I really believe that we all are human beings, and we all are equal. God told us in any religion that you read, human beings are equal. God created every one of us equal. So I think education is the right of every individual. It's not only humans' right, education, also is the right of every individual. And according to Islam, we are obligated, we are responsible to educate everyone. And that is we are trying to do. Yes, today still I am talking here in front of you. In my country, right now, 2 provinces last night was targeted by Taliban. Hundreds of people have been killed. Still every day we have casualty. Still in the morning we get up and go to work. We don't know if we return back or not. Still the women of Afghanistan know that they were captured, they will be punished, they will be tortured, all kinds of things. But you know what? They are not going to give up. They are working very hard. And for your information, to just tell you a little bit about the women of Afghanistan. Today, they are getting higher education. They are traveling abroad. They are doing business. They take commodity from Afghanistan to China, to Pakistan, to India, and they bring commodity back to Afghanistan, and they do business. They are very successful business. We have women in political arena, but yes, still we behind. We want to go further, but the women of Afghanistan are thriving. They are really faithfully, they are learning, and they are taking position as a responsible citizen. We are talking sometimes democracy. Democracy is not something that you can take it from one country and to bring it to another country. Democracy to me is something that people have to understand the rule of law. They have to understand the process of democracy. They have to understand why it's important that they choose the person who is going to be their leader. They have to understand what to demand from that leader. And you know, in an advanced country like Sweden, you know all those things. But in a country like Afghanistan, for years and years, the education have been banned. They don't know these things. We must first educate them in their right, in their human right, and process of democracy, the rule of law. These are the issues that AOL is constantly working. And as a result, today we have a huge auditorium, not as big as this one, but big for Afghanistan. And you know, the university students, boys and girls, come there and they sit and they debate. They have a discussion about all kinds of issues, and they find a solution all by themselves. And that is really give us pleasure. That is the way we want a civil society to have a civic education. And when you give them civic education, they really learn how to deal with issues. And there shouldn't be gun and tank and killing each other and trying to bring a solution to different countries. Today, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan is war. We don't want any more war. We want to really bring peace. In order to bring peace, we must negotiate, we must work together, we must collaborate with each other, and we must understand the culture and the tradition. Because no matter where you go, every nation, they have their own culture. And you could not take the culture and say, okay, we don't want anymore this, and we are substituting for new thing. It doesn't work that way. You take the culture and you try to a little update it and work with people that their culture be implemented according to their needs, but at the same time educate them. And that is what we are trying to do. And I keep talking to you, and I can go on and on and on. And I really like to hear your voice. I like to see what do you think. And I want you to ask me a question. And I really appreciate that very much. So again, I am very thankful. I am very honored. I am very humble to be here, to really bring the voice of the women and children of Afghanistan to you. They are voiceless. They could not travel. They could not come. In their behalf, I am here to understand that they are not submissive. They are as intelligent as everybody else. They have the right to be educated. They have the right to have a peaceful life, to live peacefully. And thank you for listening to me. And I am here to listen to you and answer your question. Thank you very, very much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We have 3 members in the panel that would ask you a question.
Yes.
So do you have a question?
So if we look at what's happening with Syria and all of the refugees that are coming to, or that have come and are continuing to come to Sweden, what should we think about? What can we do here on the ground?
Thank you very much for this wonderful question. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago I was EU in Belgium, and I had a discussion with the official over there that what we should do about the refugee issue. They were talking and they were asking recommendation. Thank you for asking this question. I really believe that what we have done in the refugee camp, that is the method that all of us, well, that is one thing that UN right now replicating my processes, my methodology. Why? Because they saw that it's so successful. AOL has reached 13.5 million people so far. And the reason that we reach that many people, and the reason that AOL is very successful, because we listen to the people. We listen to the people. Don't miscalculate that the refugee, maybe they don't know things. You know that the refugee come, especially now from Syria, most of them are highly educated people. They have doctorate, they have law degree, they have engineering degree. And my belief is that when they are there, first of all, do a very clear monitoring. The monitoring should be very specific, that or they are refugee or they are coming to have a better life. Second things, I really believe that ask them, who is their what? If that's doctor, raise their hand. Is a lawyer, raise their hand. And when you see them, then try to use them and give them a job that if a doctor could not work in Sweden as a doctor, that doctor can work as a nurse or as a health worker. So that right there, you can use that individual. For example, I know that in the United States, there are so many odd jobs that is available, plumbing, electrician, things like this. And it's very hard to find those people. And those people are engineers. They know how to do those jobs. Hire them to do those kind of jobs. And from amongst those people, if you choose people, and instead of they sit there and vegetate and become mad and become upset, I think that if we really work through that and really create a job from amongst them for themselves, I think this is one of the solutions. The second solution, I think that we all know that when the refugees come in the host country, they say they are going to be in 1 month or 2 months, they will go or they will disperse. But the history taught us that for years and years, they will sit in the host country. So for the first time when they come, implement a program for them. Implement a program that they need. Ask them, what do you want? And I really tell you that the first thing they should know is their language, the language of the host country. You should make sure that everybody from there go to the school and learn the language. And the third thing that I think that really all of us really should do that really give them dignity and their resilience to really let them to inside the country to be integrated with the culture. Because if they got taught civic education, like about the rule of law, about the law, about the education in this country or any country, they will integrate it to the host country faster. And so give them that opportunity that they wouldn't be a stranger. You know about their culture, they know about your culture, and the integration, it will be easier. That is my suggestion, and that is I told EU, because I think that we all are having problem. And this problem of refugee is not only one country problem, it's a country all around the world. And also this horrible issue that the young people coming and they are mad, they are scared, they don't have job. Let's make sure that they get a job, they get busy, they go to school. If you put a group of young men or young women in a camp and just, they get frustrated. They create a lot of bad issue. So you want to really not allow that to happen. So that's my advice.
Dr. Sakena Yacoobi, we're so honored. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.